We all know the routine at airport security. Shoes off, laptop out, liquids under 3.4 ounces. It feels strict, serious, and official. But what if I told you a lot of what happens at that checkpoint isn't what it seems? Recently, an internal TSA document was quietly leaked by an anonymous source, one that exposes how agents are trained to watch you, judge you, and sometimes act far beyond what most travelers would expect. From unpredictable rules to inconsistent enforcement, from forgotten rights to suspicious searches, what we found reveals a system far more complicated than just X-rays and pat-downs. In this video, we're diving into what TSA doesn't put on the signs. The subtle behaviors that raise eyebrows, the shifting lines between protocol and guesswork, and the rights you still have, even when no one tells you. Some of it's odd, some of it's unsettling. All of it's worth knowing before your next flight. Let's begin. You think you're just waiting in line for security. Shoes off, laptop in the bin, maybe wondering if your travel size shampoo is actually travel size. But while your bag's getting scanned, so are you. TSA agents aren't just checking what you packed. They're watching you, your face, your movements, the way you breathe. It's all part of a quiet little program with a very official name, SPOT. Stands for Screening of Passengers by Observation Techniques. Basically, they're trained to read your body like a lie detector, even if you don't say a word. Now here's the twist. You don't have to do anything wild to catch their attention. Break a sweat for no reason. Avoid eye contact for half a second too long. Shift your weight, clutch your bag too tightly. That's enough to make them pause. And sure, it sounds a little unfair, because, come on, who isn't nervous in a TSA line? The beeping machines, the pressure to move fast, the fear you forgot your water bottle again, it's stressful. But to the folks trained in SPOT, that nervous energy might be a red flag. Which brings us to the question you didn't know you needed to ask. What exactly makes someone suspicious in the eyes of TSA? They're not going to tell you. The official list is confidential. But we will. See, back in 2015, a secret TSA document finally came to light. A quiet leak to The Intercept, courtesy of an anonymous source with access to the real stuff. That list, it pulled back the curtain on the exact behaviors agents are trained to look for. Suddenly, the airport didn't feel like a line. It felt like a test you didn't know you were taking. Sweaty palms, pale skin, dodging eye contact, talking too much, talking too little, even how you hand over your ID. It's all being watched, scored, noted, and it gets weirder. Yawning too much? That's a point. Whistling? Another one. Staring wide-eyed at the agent like you're in a hostage situation? That's 2 points. If your score hits 6 or more, TSA might quietly pull you aside for a closer look, away from the line, away from the gate, and definitely away from your on-time departure. And in the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down, so you know what they're really looking for. And how to avoid getting flagged for just being human. Because the scanner might not beep, but they're watching anyway. A woman flew out of JFK last month with a protein shake in her carry-on. No problem, no questions. 2 hours later, on her connecting flight out of the exact same terminal, TSA flagged the same bottle and threw it out. Same airport, same bag, same shake. Different agent, different result. And that's not some one-off mistake. It's baked into the system. TSA openly admits that security measures may vary. Their words, not mine. Agents are allowed to adjust screenings based on shifting threat levels, changing protocols, or just what they feel is necessary in the moment. There's no requirement that it be consistent. No obligation to explain why it was fine 2 hours ago, but now it's not allowed. This kind of flexibility is supposed to keep bad actors guessing. But for regular travelers, it feels like playing airport roulette. One day your protein bar is fine. The next, it's suspicious. So next time you're pulled aside for something you've flown with 10 times before, don't be surprised. It's not personal. It's not even inconsistent. It's just TSA by design. Let's get one thing straight. TSA agents might act like they run the place, but they're not the law. They don't carry badges, and they definitely don't carry arrest powers. Their job is to screen you, not to boss you around like you're on trial. Sure, they can check your ID, scan your bag, and wave you through with that serious, all-knowing look. But there are real limits to what they can actually make you do. And most travelers have no idea where those limits are. For starters, they can't force you to unlock your phone or hand over your laptop password. If an agent starts poking around your screen or demanding access to your devices, you are absolutely within your rights to say no, politely but firmly. The same goes for your passport. It's still your legal document. No rule says you have to throw it in a bin like a loose pen. And here's something most people don't realize. TSA agents can't arrest you. If they believe something's wrong, they have to call airport police. That's it. They might give you the hard stare, the low voice, the "we're gonna need to have a chat" routine. But when it comes down to it, they can't lay a finger on you unless law enforcement steps in. Feel like an agent's pushing too far? Stay calm and ask the question that flips the script. Is this a requirement or just a request? You'd be amazed how fast their tone shifts once they know you're not just guessing. Now let's talk pat-downs. Yes, they're allowed, but that doesn't mean anything goes. A pat-down isn't supposed to feel like a wrestling match. If you live with chronic pain, have a medical condition, or just want your boundaries respected, you can say so. You can ask for a private room. You can request a supervisor. You're not being difficult. You're protecting yourself. TSA agents aren't doctors, and they don't get to define what reasonable pressure means on your body. And this isn't just theory. In 2016, a man at Dulles Airport followed instructions during a security check until a TSA officer suddenly rammed his hand into the traveler's groin. The man bent over in pain. The officer laughed. No apology, no action, just silence. But that man fought back. He filed a lawsuit, and a federal judge allowed it to move forward. Why? Because even inside a TSA checkpoint, the Constitution still applies. The court made it clear, striking someone during a search isn't extra thorough. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. So no matter how official someone looks, remember this, TSA's authority has limits. And knowing where those limits are, that's how you travel with power, not just permission. Ever had something mysteriously vanish after going through airport security? A laptop that suddenly won't turn on? Headphones that never made it out of the tray? A bag that shows up at baggage claim looking like it went through a wood chipper? Well, don't expect TSA to take the blame. Their official stance? Not our problem. Sure, you can file a claim. There's a whole process for reporting lost or damaged items. But calling it a process is generous. It's more like a bureaucratic black hole. Travelers have reported cases that drag on for months, only to be denied outright, or met with a payout so low it feels like a joke. And that's if you even hear back at all. Even with receipts, photos, timestamps, and tracking numbers, getting TSA to admit fault is like trying to return soup at a deli after you drank it. And here's where it gets worse. Theft. Yes, it happens. TSA agents have been caught on camera, rifling through people's luggage and pocketing cash. NBC News released footage from Miami International, where officers were literally stealing from passengers in plain sight. CNN uncovered multiple cases of TSA employees being fired for theft at major airports like Orlando, JFK, and LAX. From missing watches to electronics that vanish into thin air, it's not always the X-ray machine that's to blame. Here's the bottom line. If it's valuable, keep it in your carry-on. If it's irreplaceable, don't check it. And if something does go missing or gets damaged, document everything. File the claim immediately. Take photos, keep receipts. And whatever you do, don't accept the first offer unless you're cool with being insulted twice. Between the rush of security lines, bins flying down conveyor belts, and a dozen people grabbing their stuff at once, it's shockingly easy for something to disappear, especially if you're distracted or in a hurry. So, how do you avoid becoming a disappearing items story? Keep your essentials packed away until the last possible moment. Wallet, phone, keys, passport. Put them in a Ziploc or small pouch inside your carry-on. The less loose stuff you toss in a bin, the less chance something gets lost in transit. Traveling with a friend? One goes through first to keep eyes on the bins while the other follows. Flying solo? Send low-value stuff through first. Shoes, toiletries. So your laptop or wallet comes out last, spending the least amount of time unattended. And here's a golden rule worth repeating. If it fits in your carry-on, keep it there. Other than your laptop, No valuables should be riding solo in a bin. Less stress, fewer regrets, and a much smoother time at the airport. Because while TSA is screening for threats, you're busy guarding your stuff. By now, we all know the airport security drill. Shoes off, laptop in its own bin, liquids under 3.4 ounces, jewelry out, stand like a mannequin in the world's least flattering pose. It's all for our safety, right? Well, about that. In 2015, undercover agents from Homeland Security ran a series of covert tests at airports across the US. The mission? See if TSA could catch fake threats. The result? Out of 70 attempts, TSA failed 67. That's a 95% failure rate. One agent literally walked through security with a fake explosive strapped to their back, and no one noticed. Let that sink in. If you're finding this surprising so far, hit that like button, because it gets even weirder. Now, you'd think that kind of wake-up call would spark major reform, but 2 years later, in 2017, the hits just kept coming. At JFK Airport, 11 passengers strolled straight through a checkpoint. No bag scans, no body scanners, no one even there. They made it to their flights completely unscreened. TSA's response? Don't worry, we'll screen them when they land. Because nothing says secure like retroactive safety. And if that wasn't wild enough, also in 2017, a dozen TSA agents were arrested for helping smuggle cocaine from Puerto Rico to the mainland US for years. Let that one marinate while they're confiscating your shampoo bottle for being 0.2 ounces too big. The point isn't to make you paranoid, it's to make you think. Because while TSA is busy policing your nail clippers and peanut butter, some much bigger things have been slipping through the cracks. TSA agents can miss explosives, confiscate peanut butter, and still keep their job for years. But if you forget to take off your belt, prepare to be treated like a national threat. Ever had a TSA agent snap at you like you just insulted their family? Maybe you forgot to pull out your laptop, or your bag shifted a little in the scanner, and suddenly you're being treated like you just hacked NORAD. You think, I should file a complaint. But here's the part no one tells you. It probably won't go anywhere. Once a TSA agent makes it past their 2-year probation, they're nearly untouchable. Complaints? Most vanish into a bureaucratic vortex so deep you'd have better luck yelling into the overhead speaker. Bad attitude? Not a fireable offense. Power tripping over a half ounce of lotion? Just another Tuesday. Unless they do something blatantly illegal. And even then, it's not guaranteed they'll get fired. Disciplinary action can take months, even years, and often gets tied up in appeals and internal reviews. Meanwhile, you're still taking off your shoes while someone barks at you like it's your fault they skipped lunch. Now, to be fair, most TSA agents are just regular people doing a tough job. They deal with long hours, grumpy travelers, and rules that don't always make sense. But every now and then, you meet one who acts like they were born to be an airport sheriff. And thanks to a system built like a fortress, they get to stay in character for a long, long time. You're at the checkpoint. Things get weird. An agent suddenly raises their voice, asks too many questions, or gives your stuff a little too much attention. Your gut says, I should record this. But before you can even reach for your phone, someone barks, you can't film here. That's where most people freeze. But here's the truth, they're bluffing. Under federal law, you're allowed to record at TSA checkpoints as long as you're not interfering with the screening process or filming the X-ray monitors. That's it. You're not breaking any rule by documenting your own interaction. You're protecting yourself. In fact, a growing number of travelers are doing just that, hitting record the moment something feels off, especially in cases of harassment, invasive pat-downs, or agents pushing past what they're allowed to do. Now, does TSA love this? No. Will some agents act like they're auditioning for a courtroom drama? Probably. But they can't legally stop you. Not if you're calm, respectful, and clear. Here's what to say if they try to shut it down. I'm recording for personal documentation. I'm not disrupting anything. 9 times out of 10, that one line changes the tone immediately. So the next time things get tense at security, remember this. Your phone is your witness. Use it. After everything we've covered, The attitude, the missing stuff, the rules that seem to change depending on the agent's mood, you might be thinking, TSA exists purely to test your patience. And yeah, sometimes it feels that way. But here's the other side of it. Most TSA agents aren't out to ruin your day. They didn't create the rules. They just have to enforce them, usually while dealing with sleep-deprived travelers who forgot about the water bottle in their backpack for the third time this month. Some agents take the job a little too seriously. Some don't. And some are just counting the hours until lunch. In fact, if you've never checked out TSA's Instagram, do it. It's a goldmine of the weirdest things people have tried to bring through security. Nunchucks, sword canes, ninja stars, even a live eagle. Someone once tried to fly with a frozen turkey. And no, we still don't know why. But what really makes the account stand out? The humor. The captions are sharp, sarcastic, and weirdly delightful. Turns out, behind the stone-faced agents is a social media team with real comedic timing. They've somehow managed to turn airport absurdity into entertainment. And honestly, it's the one place where TSA seems kind of fun. So the next time you feel like rolling your eyes at a TSA agent, just remember, someone on their team is out there making puns about confiscated nunchucks. Don't hate them. At least not too much. So yeah, maybe they flagged your shampoo. Maybe they pulled you aside for wearing too many bracelets. Maybe your peanut butter got confiscated while a fake explosive walked right through. But don't hate them too much. They're doing what the system tells them to do, even if the system doesn't always make sense. And that's the real question, isn't it? Is the problem the people or the system they're stuck inside? If this video saved you a headache, made you laugh, or gave you one more reason to rethink your airport outfit, hit like, subscribe, and send it to that one friend who always insists TSA is just making it up as they go. They might be right. But again, don't hate them too much.